Okay, so I've never posted on the whole gender versus sex topic. Not because I don't care, but because it's not in my wheelhouse, and I'm more concerned with climate and economic policy. Plus, I ended up taking a bit of a detour, exposing certain grifters who act as useful idiots for the GOP. However, I finally found a video on this topic that I want to respond to. Not because it's great, but because it's the same stupid and refuted argument I've been hearing since 2016. But every once in a while a video like this goes viral because the people promoting it think it's brilliant. So let's back up. Sex and gender are two overlapping but separate concepts. Sex is biological and physiological, whereas gender is a sociological term and relates to norms, roles, and relationships. It seems straightforward enough that the people who claim that there are multiple genders and overlaps between males and females are referring to gender. I've understood this since 2016. Yet here we are, 7 years later, and people are still making reaction videos to Matt Walsh's lack of knowledge on this difference, as if it's some sort of slam dunk. In this case, we have a YouTuber named Tanya TKO Clips, and I guess it's called this because Tanya apparently TKOs people in her responses? I think. In any case, Tanya goes beyond the usual act of ignoring or perhaps not even knowing the difference between sex and gender, and gives a condescending lecture on the different sex cells between the two sexes.
Possibility for them?
Look. No, but that's because some people don't have body parts. Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
So how would you define female?
Yes.
The female is the one with the larger, fewer sex cells. The male is the one, so here, this is female of any species. The male of any species has the more abundant, smaller sex cells.
And here's the irony. Even sex isn't as binary as Tanya's lecture implies. The concept of a binary difference between male and female is being challenged by emerging scientific understanding. While traditionally, sex has been simplified to the presence or absence of a Y chromosome, it's now clear that the biology of sex is much more complex. Diverse intersex conditions. Intersex conditions, known as differences or disorders of sex development, DSDs, have highlighted the complexity of sex. These conditions can result in discrepancies between a person's chromosomes, gonads, and sexual anatomy. Genetic factors. Genetics play a significant role in sex determination. Researchers have identified numerous genes involved in DSDs, and subtle genetic variations can affect a person's anatomical or physiological sex. Cellular mosaicism. Some individuals have mosaicism, where different cells in their bodies have distinct genetic makeups. This can lead to variations in sexual characteristics. Hormonal influences. Hormones also contribute to sex determination. Changes in hormone signaling can cause XY individuals to develop along female lines and vice versa. Behavioral and metabolic differences. Emerging research suggests that XX and XY cells behave differently, and these differences can influence metabolism and other physiological processes. Chimerism. Chimerism, where a person develops from a mixture of two fertilized eggs, is extremely rare but adds another layer of complexity to sex. Microchimerism. Stem cells from a fetus can cross the placenta into the mother's body, leading to microchimerism. These cells can persist for years and may influence the host's tissues. Legal and social challenges. While the scientific understanding of sex is evolving, legal systems and societal norms still largely adhere to a binary model. This can result in pressure for individuals with intersex traits to undergo surgery to conform to societal expectations. Medical considerations. Medical practitioners are becoming more circumspect about genital surgery for individuals with DSDs, emphasizing a multidisciplinary approach that considers the individual's well-being and identity. Future considerations. As scientific research continues to reveal the spectrum of sex, society and legal systems may need to adapt to accommodate a more nuanced understanding of gender and sex, potentially allowing individuals to self-identify their gender. The take-home lesson here is that the traditional binary understanding of male and female sex is increasingly being challenged by scientific discoveries. Sex is not solely determined by chromosomes, but involves a complex interplay of genetics, hormones, cells, and individual identity. To put it more plainly, the end result, let's just call it the hardware, may take on binary characteristics. But the variables leading to one of those two ends are anything but binary and encompass a spectrum of attributes. So even when it comes to sex, the two quote-unquote binary outcomes encompass a spectrum of variables. It's a bit like arguing that Joe Manchin and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are the same, because they are both Democrat, and that people like, say, Lisa Murkowski exist in the other binary. In reality, Joe Manchin's policy positions have more overlap with Republicans like Lisa Murkowski than they do with AOC's. But hacks like Matt Walsh insist that's all as simple as red or blue.